Hello my dear students, welcome to my channel Tutors Tutelage. And here I am your tutor. In today's lesson, we are going to discuss about a poem that is After Blenheim by Robert Southey. So let's read out the poem. It was a summer evening. Old Caspar's work was done and he before his cottage door was sitting in the sun. And by him, spotted on the green, his little grandchild Wilhelmine. Now here, the poem gives a vivid picture of a summer evening where most of the people return from work. These days are long and tiring in summers and the sun is about to set in the evening. An elderly farmer named Caspar sits in front of his cottage watching his grandchildren. One is Wilhelmine and the other is Peterkin at the play on the lush of the green field. She saw her brother Peterkin roll something large and round, which he, beside the rivulet, in playing there had found. He came to ask what he had found that was so large, smooth, and round. Now, here the granddaughter of old Caspar, Wilhelmine, was playing. She saw her brother Peterkin was rolling something that is large, smooth, and round in shape. And he had found that thing beside the river. Meanwhile, old Caspar was sitting around observing his actions. Now, out of curiosity, Peterkin, the grandson of old Caspar, takes that something to his grandfather, wanting to know about that. Now here comes the next stanza. Old Caspar took it from the boy who stood expectant by, and then the old man shook his head, and with a natural sigh, "'Tis some poor fellow's skull," said he, "who fell in the great victory." Now, here old Caspar took that round thing from the boy, who was left in anticipation. After a brief look at it, the old man shook his head with a sigh and found it to be a skull of some poor fellow who had died in the battlefront. Now, here the Battle of Blenheim is referred as the Great Victory. Now, let's see what old Caspar and his grandchild saying. "I find them in the garden, for there's many here about, and often when I go to plough, the ploughshare turns them out. For many thousand men," said he, "were slain in that great victory." Now see, look at the speech of old Caspar. He talks about the battle or the war, and when he went to plough, he found it in the garden, for there's many here about. Now he had seen so many soldiers' dead bodies. "The ploughshare turns them out, for many thousand men," said he, "were slain in that great victory." Now here also he sarcastically says that the Battle of Blenheim was a great victory, which also happens to be an example of sheer patriotism. Caspar believed that the soldiers had sacrificed their lives for the country and did not die in vain. Their death served the purpose of victory in the battle. "Now tell us what it was all about, young Peterkin," he cries. And little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. "Now tell us about the war and what they fought each other for." Now here, look at the curiosity of the grandchildren of old Caspar. They are eagerly waiting to hear the reason behind the war. Now, here old Caspar replies, "It was English," Caspar cried, "who put the French to rout. But what they fought each other for I could not well make out. But everybody said," quoth he, "that it was a famous victory." Now here old Caspar says that the history book tell us that the British defeated the French army in the Battle of Blenheim. Caspar tries to answer the question placed by his grandchildren. But here he says that he could not remember what was the exact reason behind the war. In fact, he doesn't want to find out the reason behind it. He remembers what everybody has told him. The victory was famous and it was a great victory. "My father lived at Blenheim then, yon little stream hard by. They burned his dwelling to the ground and he was forced to fly. So with his wife and child he fled, nor had he where to rest his head." Now, at this point of time after Blenheim, Caspar recollects the memories from his past, some of the scenarios of the war. He begins to remember about his father who lived in a small village of Blenheim near a river. The French wreaked havoc in the village and burned few homes, and all the innocent people had to flee. Now they had to roam from one place to another for rest. With fire and sword the country round was wasted far and wide, and many a childing mother then and newborn baby died. But things like that must be at every famous victory. Now in this stanza, the poet describes the severity of war. Fire, sword are the symbols of man's cruelty. They represent destruction, death and horror. Wasted is emotionally charged word. It conjures an image of a land reft of any use, purpose and dignity. It shows both the futility of war and its power to destroy. The image of mother and baby killed in war here makes us see the battle as catastrophic of both present and future. It powerfully evokes the death of innocence. But whether he believes it or not, Caspar has resigned to the inevitability of death. He says that death is inevitable to everyone. That's why he takes those killings casually and says that it is very normal at every famous victory. Now let's come to the stanza 9. They say it was a shocking sight after the field was won, for many thousand bodies here lay rotting in the sun. But things are like must be after a famous victory. Now here the poet depicts the terror of war through old Caspar. When the battle was over, thousands of dead bodies of soldiers lie rotting in the field. There are some sound effects in the stanza, helped by the resonance of shocking and rotting and the alliteration in the first line. Combined, they give resonance to the horrendous image of death. The scene of rotting reduces dead men to carrion. An emotive, vivid word, it shows how war not only takes away life but also dignity and humanity. Great praise the Duke of Marlborough won, and our good Prince Eugene. Why, 'twas a wicked thing, said little Wilhelmine. Nay, nay, my little girl, quoth he, it was a famous victory. Now, the Duke of Marlborough and Prince Eugene representing the Britishers who won in the battle. Here, Caspar praises the Duke and the Prince for having defeated the French army. A confused Wilhelmine said that the war is a wicked thing as it is a destructive one. But again, old Caspar says that it was a famous victory. Now it is obvious that the old man is hiding all the destructions and agony caused by the war, repeating these two words. He seems to be afraid of breaking the romantic ideals of war so carefully brought up in his mind. Now here comes the last and the final stanza. And everybody praised the Duke, who his great fight did win. But what good came of it at last, quoth little Peterkin. Why, that I cannot tell, said he, but it was a famous victory. Now see, victory has many fathers, but defeat is an orphan. You will have people around yourself when you are at the brink of victory. But if you defeat in a war or a battle, there will be no one with you. Staying true to these words, many people praise the Duke for having won the war, and Caspar recalls with his delight. Peterkin then anticipated on the very purpose of war and said, what did it do? What good did it do? But the old man seems to be indifferent to his questions. All he knew was that it was a famous victory. Now, the poet again repeats the line, but it was a famous victory. The line is an epitome of irony. The war was fought over a trivial dispute, but costed lives of thousands and thousands of soldiers. The only inevitable thing is death, destruction of life and property. Victory cannot bring them back. Hence, the poet questions the purpose and need of war. Thus, the poem, after Blenheim, successfully conveys his message of war is futile and should be avoided. So, that's all about this poem. Hope you love watching this video. Thank you.